Okay, we're going to check out NiceChart, which is a really brand new technology that allows people to customize their sheet music around their proficiency in instruments. And we have four products that will be here for the launch. We're going to get to the other ones in a different demo. This one's going to focus on NiceScore, um, which is really our flagship product that caters to music directors and allows them to customize entire ensembles and arrangements around those. The real core of this is flexibility in key, instrument, proficiency level, and display preferences across every instrument selected, and having the arrangement react to those specifications. So there's a lot behind it. So let's take a look at NiceScore here. When you go in here, we're going to do a jazz standard, all the things you are, and we have different icons representing which products are available: piano, lead sheets, in this case NiceScore. So we can either click on that or go through this way too. And when we first land on this page, we're asked to select our school level. So let's say it's a high school. And we get all these different instrument families that show up, and we could just really start selecting whatever we have. You know, we have a flute, some altos, tenors, baritone, clarinet, maybe some an oboe and an English horn may have snuck into this ensemble, and this really speaks to the flexibility of the product that, you know, as schools are definitely faced with more challenges with stranger instrumentations versus just the standards that are found in most of the arrangements they're purchasing. We can really flex to these different instruments that might show up. So to that end, maybe a few violins sneak into this, and I don't know, a harp and a guitar. So we can add some percussion here. Let's add a drum set and, I don't know, piano. So on the next page, after we selected all our instruments, we're provided with these sliders that are here to rate player proficiency. And in this case, we're actually given two sliders because there's improvised solos in this particular title. So the customer is able to go over to this proficiency guide if they have questions with what does this all really mean with these different sliders, to kind of get an idea of what what bucket to put these players into in terms of their proficiency. So we also can control the player name, so we can put in player names to track them all the way through this process. Maybe we throw in Jen here, and Steve, and Tammy, and Bob, for instance, and we could go on and on, but you get the point. And we can just start selecting the proficiency of these different players. Maybe we'll make Jen the best soloist of the group, which should result in a recommendation for that player to be the soloist. So this can handle really a wide variety of any proficiency thrown at it, and we just keep filling this out until we're done. As we start to see the towards the end here, we have some instruments that have display preferences. So if we have a bass guitar, we can elect to have bass tab or have that bass part displayed in slash notation. The slash notation turns off if there's too many people on bass parts, just so there's not a big mess on that. But if there's only one person assigned to bass parts, it allows slash notation for that sort of scenario. So let's turn that off, and we'll say the harp player. We can even get pedal markings on a harp part to help players with that too. For guitar, we can add anything from slash to chord diagrams to tab automatically into this process. So let's assume the guitar player just wants tab along with their part. And the piano is an on or off with slash notation in this particular song that's mostly chord comping. So as we move forward, it's thinking, it's coming up with who our soloist should be. And it comes back and says, okay, Jen was the highest rated proficiency player for solos. So it does recommend her for this part. You can see here this is sort of a nod to a supplement that might come with arrangements that you purchase that say, you know, here's a B flat version or a C or E flat version of a solo. This bakes it right into the part so that the player has it. They don't have to switch over to some other reference if that's even provided. Oftentimes they don't even see it. So let's turn that off for the flute solo and we'll keep it on for this trumpet solo. Finally, we can select the concert key we want. Now it's going to default to whatever the arrangement originally was written in, but if we want to, we can change it to whatever we want. So let's leave it in the original for now. And we can also turn on or off getting the conductor's score since we charge for it. You can elect not to receive a conductor's score if you don't want it. So now that we have everything punched in here, we're ready to generate our preview. And we can see it's starting to think through all these parts, transposing everything, moving on to formatting music XML, which is what this system is based off of. And now it's into creating these different parts. It's rendering each one of these parts. We can see there's 26 over here, and we cache some of these as we create them so that we can provide these quicker the more we run this system. So you might have seen that it started at 14 out of 26, but some of these it had never encountered before. We will see in the next page when this is done, we'll get a sample from SoundSlice that we can hear an audio recording, but we can also do it right here on this page. And before we get to our preview, that we can take a look at the original arrangement to kind of take a look at what that looks like too. But in a minute when this finishes running, we're going to see the exact preview of what this ensemble looks like and the audio that would go along with it. So you can really get a good sense of how this is going to work before you actually buy it. We can see it's wrapping up here with finishing up, getting ready to give us that preview. And here it goes. So here's our SoundSlice embedded page in here that we can play our audio if we wanted to hear it. We can also move to a large screen in here if you wanted to preview in SoundSlice more to get an idea of how this works. This one kind of follows the bouncing ball, so to speak, where the version we produce is more formatted PDFs. So what we have here is the conductor's score. We can see that there's quite a bit on here, and it's created this from scratch. If we zoom in, we can see all the different instruments that we selected here. We can even see some of the things that we selected show up within the score. So for example, if you find where the solo parts begin, right here, the flute we elected not to have a written solo, so the first solo is over slashes, where if we scroll down to the trumpet has a written solo and instructed to play a second time only. So there's a lot in here. At the end of the score, we're given an ensemble summary that really lets the music director understand who to hand this stuff out to. So you can see some of these names that we dropped in here are followed along throughout the whole process, and just gives the director a better idea how to understand how to pass these out, since oftentimes there's doubled up parts like two trumpets, and it may have reacted to a proficiency change or other elements that go with this. Um, Also, behind this, we have all of our formatted individual parts that we can take a look at here. Here's this flute part with that solo built into it. And these are all ready to go. So this is essentially our output from NiceScore.